What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Under Review, where we look at all the latest and greatest games to release for a majority of all the consoles. This week, we are looking at the brand new Bethesda Fallout 76. Now, Fallout has always been about exploring a rich wasteland that has been twisted by the exposure to radiation after a nuclear holocaust, nearly wiping out all of civilization. We all have had that thought at one point or another. What would you do if you were one of the few survivors that survived such a horrific event? And how would you go about rebuilding that world as we know it today? Now, past Fallout games have always been about, the strong single-player RPG experience, the open world experience, where you interact with the world of NPCs that are well thought out and ripe with personality. Unfortunately, Fallout 76 is nothing like its previous versions. And there's a lot of differences, not just because of the multiplayer aspect of it, but it's not all in for the good. Now, the first major change is the fact that Fallout 76, yes, is a online-only multiplayer experience. And instead of the world being populated by these rich personality NPCs that you would run into in the world, they are all now real people that you run into. Real players playing the game. Now look, I understand that the way that they tried to go about that, and they wanted players to feel more in touch with the real wasteland and how you would interact with other people in the world. I get all of that. It just did not have the same feel as running into quest-giving NPCs. Never has. The only way you get your quest in this game is either through a holotape that you find in the world, computers that you access or hack, and robots you may come in contact with. That's it. No more, no less. No other character. And that was a huge letdown for me. Not to mention, it feels that a lot of the missions are really monotonous. So when you have those really rich quests and you're building towards something and building towards like an experience that past Fallout games have given us, Fallout 76 to a lot of players, including myself, felt really let down by that. It just felt empty. Now my second issue with the game is that it was just still riddled with bugs. But look, that's kind of to be expected, right? I mean, what online-only game have you ever come across that didn't launch with bugs or server issues? They all have. Now, I do feel that the server crashes can be a little bit troublesome to some, but to me, I've come a little bit more accustomed to this as a multiplayer gamer. It's easy to find other servers to join, and all your progress does go with you, which is a saving grace, and it's a good thing, because if a server crashes, no matter what you're in the middle of doing, it all progresses with you. So you take it right into another server that's not having any issues or hiccups. So you don't lose anything you gain from previous sit-downs. But over a little bit of time with the game, there seems to be, look, the bugs are going to be there. Now, they are working to fix all these bugs, and over time, these bugs are going to be a lot more stable than they were before. And these issues are going to be a thing of the past. Now, there are some huge updates coming out for it. One already came out for the game that are fixing a lot of these issues. So a lot of these bugs and stuff like that are going to be really a thing of the past. Now, the co-op aspect of Fallout 76, it works well. Let me get that straight. Let me say that first thing. It works very well. And traveling in a Fallout universe with a few buddies does make for a fun experience. This, you can tell, was really what the game was really designed for. You're group grinding and trying to survive. That's the aspect of the entire game, survival. But one thing made itself very clear. Even though they said you can play this game by yourself, which you can do, even though you still need an internet connection, it feels like if you play the game by yourself, it feels really empty and you get bored really quickly. I know I did. It almost seems, in some of the stuff that you did, it seemed almost like a waste of time. Yes, you can collect resources and you have character interactions with other people. You can level up your character through all these. Like in previous versions, I can go from one town to another and you have those kind of one-off character interactions, but the fact that this world feels that it's not really inhabited by anybody unless there are other players that are around feels a little lackluster. But keeping yourself eating and drinking is unique in and of itself as well. But it can be actually kind of more of a hindrance, more of an annoyance than anything. Now, I get the idea that Bethesda was putting out there. They want you and your co-op partners to work together to survive. Building your base, building your camp, which you can move on a whim at any time and anywhere. But the unfortunate thing is it didn't really get much of an upgrade from like Fallout 4. The whole building your base aspect didn't really seem to get much of an upgrade from the previous version. Now look, overall, Fallout 76 is a fun experience when you're with a group of buddies. And you guys are all out there creating your own fun by doing some random quests and events that seem to be popping up all over the place, actually. And some of the outfits can be a bit funny as well. However, this is not your typical Fallout experience. So if you're used and accustomed to games of the past, this is not that same experience. It seems like they brought more of smaller elements from previous versions, but left out a lot of the major ones. And the fact that this world seems really unpopulated and there are no NPCs in the world is a little bit of a game breaker for me. The quests are a bit tedious and uninteresting as well. I seem to get much more of a rich experience from previous versions of the game, and honestly, if I wanted to play Fallout, I would honestly just revisit one of those instead of 76. So for that reason, we gave Fallout 76 a disappointing 6 out of 10. This was a misstep, from my opinion, for Bethesda. And I know there's a lot of gamers that feel this way. There are some that are enjoying the game, don't get me wrong. If you're enjoying the game, more power to you. The game is enjoyable. Play at it. Look, the game looks beautiful. The world is huge. There's a lot to explore and experience. But from us that have played the game for iteration after iteration and have loved this series for what it is, this was a bit of a misfire. And I'm sure after more content comes out for the game and the servers are a lot more stable, bugs are fixed, it's gonna clean up a lot of the experience for a lot of people. It's just right now, this to me was a misfire. It was an experiment that they wanted to try to do that just didn't really connect. So thank you guys so much for listening. We hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. We would greatly appreciate it. And until next time, game on.